for Selenium interview questions, you are at the right place. In this series, we are not just going to cover the answers but tell you the concepts behind. I'm Gaurav Khurana. I have been part of the software testing industry for the last 15 years. This series is to help you not only clear any Selenium related interviews but also to become a modern day tester. So we have divided the questions into three categories: beginner, intermediate, and advanced level. So this will definitely help you. Let's dive into the questions starting with the beginner level. So the first question that might ask to understand your understanding about Selenium, that somebody might ask you that what is Selenium, right? So this is just to confirm, because some people say it is a tool, some people say it's a library, some people say it's a framework. Just to clarify, Selenium on their official website, they say that Selenium automate browsers, right? So that is the primary purpose of Selenium. Then we can use it as per our need, but most probably it is used for automating web application, right? For the testing purposes, there are three main components that are there is listed on their website. I'll go there and show you as well. So Selenium ID is available as an extension. You can install it on the various browser stores. So what it will do is you can do some steps and it will record, and you can play back those, and you can even export it, right? So it's a record and playback tool. This is the most important, the WebDriver, where we do all the automation using various language bindings like Java, Python, C#, right? So Selenium WebDriver is the core of the main thing, and Selenium Grid is the place by which we can do cross-browser testing, right? In your local system, if you want to do the same test on Chrome, Firefox, Mozilla, right, browsers, so Selenium Grid can be used. You can use even tools like Lambda Test, which provides their platform to run the test on the various browsers, right? So as I was telling you, I'll show you. So here, if you see that the three components and this thing is written, and there was earlier something called a Selenium RC, but that has been deprecated now. Right now, the other question that comes is that what is the difference between findElement and element? So there is a difference of S, if you notice, between these two things, right? But functionality wise, there is a difference. So what will happen is that findElement will throw an exception if it will not find an element. Let's say on the Google search page, you are trying to find a button, and that button is, you have used findElement, it will throw an exception if the button is not found, right? But if you use findElements, it will return a list. So if it is not found, it will return 0, right? So the interviewer might want to understand your understanding that what all these things will return. Because this is a list, it will return a number, right? Or if it is 0, it will return 0. If there is a list of elements, let's say you are trying to find the number of links, right? So the links is in the anchor tag. So in that case, it will return a list and you can iterate through it, right? So the purpose is different. If you have a list, use this, right? And if you want to find an element, this is being used. So that is what the difference between these two is. Moving on to the third question. So this is the most important question in Selenium, right? So this might come in various flavor, right? Some might use the words, how do you maintain synchronization? Because we know that there are elements which will take time on different browsers and maybe on the same browser that you are using, right? So that will cause your test cases or framework or scripts, you can call, flaky, right? Sometimes it might pass, sometimes it might fail. So it's important that you know all these weights, right? So the first one is the implicit weight, which gets applied globally, right? So once you apply it, let's say there are 10 elements on a page, and let's say each one take 10 seconds or some take 20 seconds, right? So then you will mention, let's say 20 here, then it will wait for all the elements if it is not found initially for 20 seconds, right? So which will increase the wait time a lot, right? So this is not recommended in that case. So that is what implicit wait is. Explicit wait, we can apply to a particular element, right? And we can apply some conditions. For example, let's say out of 10 element, one element take 30 seconds, right? So for that particular element, we can apply that wait. What will happen is then it will not apply globally, right? It waits for a specific condition. So this is better than the explicit wait is better than implicit wait. And there is another wait which is even better, right, which has this special functionality of polling intervals, right? So what exactly it means is, let's say there is an element, sometimes it takes 10 seconds, sometimes 20, sometimes 30. Right now, because it varies different time, right, but we want our cases to work in an optimized way, so we can apply a polling. So what will happen is, after each 5 seconds it will check for the visibility of element. If it appeared after 10 seconds, then the program can move forward, right? So that's what the advantage of fluent wait is compared to explicit wait, and implicit wait should be avoided. Now coming to another simple question, that what is the difference between get and navigate, because they look to be appear same, right, because they're trying to serve the same purpose, but the difference is that this waits actually until the full page is loaded, right? So generally we use it in the starting. Let's say you open google.com and then you would like to wait until the elements are loaded, right? Because otherwise if you try to find element or do any operations, it will fail, right? We don't want it to fail. So get operation gets you. Even the navigate also, if you do the same thing, it will try to go to that place, but it will not wait, right? So for the first time, try to use this, and later on, let's say you want to navigate here and there, you can use this. But still, if you want that page to be loaded, this should be used. Plus there is an advantage with navigate, that if you want to go back, go forward, go refresh, right, we have in browser some buttons by which we can go. So what happens is, navigate generally stores which URLs you have visited in a stack, right? So that when you give this command, it can go to forward or go back. So that is the advantage we have with the navigate. Now coming to the last portion of this one, last question of this portion. So they might give you an like, which XPath will you use and why? So right here you see 2 XPath. Can you comment which one will you use? Right, so if you see that this start with a /, so this we called as absolute XPath, right, because it is starting from the top, right? And while this one is having 2 /, so this is called as relative. Let me show you practically this so that you can understand it even better. So I have opened Google page over here. Let's say we want to find the Google search element, right? So we right click and we click on inspect. So if you see, it is here. So if I have to write the absolute XPath, I would have to start from here /HTML and go all the way till here, right? So first of all, it will become a very big XPath because I have to give all the elements from every parent I have to give. So HTML, then body will come, then div will come, right? So likewise, I have to give a lot. And the problem with absolute XPath is, let's say there is an element which get introduced in between, right? So let's say this div class, there is some more element that get introduced, then all my automation can get break, right? Because there is something that is coming in between here, right? So then I have to update all my XPath, which I cannot do because there are hundreds of elements on a page, right, or multiple pages. So I have to update all those. So this is not recommended. We can use directly this. Okay, but one problem that can come is, let's say it is giving multiple elements, right? More than one elements. There are 2 elements. Then you can use probably the parent of this, right? But don't use this one. Use always relative XPath because it is better. Let's move on.